Yes, indeed. My sister Martha and I were talking all week about your sermon last Sunday. It's really wonderful, Dr. Harper. In only 2 short years, you've taken on the spirit of Brooklyn.
It's very gratifying, Miss Brewster.
You see, living here next to the church all our lives, we've seen so many ministers come and go. The spirit of Brooklyn, we always say, is friendliness, and your sermons aren't so much sermons as friendly talks.
Personally, I've always enjoyed my talks with Cardinal Gibbons. Or have I met him yet?
No, dear, not yet. Are the biscuits good?
Bully!
Won't you have another biscuit, Dr. Harper?
No, thank you, Miss Abby. I'm afraid I'll have no appetite for dinner now. I always eat too many of your biscuits just to taste that lovely dip.
But you haven't tried the quids. We always put a little apple in it to take the tartness out.
No, thank you.
We'll send you over a jar.
No, you keep it here so I can be sure if I have your biscuits.
I do hope they don't make us use that imitation flour again. What with all this war trouble? It may not be very charitable of me, but I've almost come to the conclusion that this Mr. Hitler isn't a Christian.
If only Europe were on another planet.
Europe, sir?
Yes, Teddy.
Point your gun the other way!
Gone.
Teddy!
To the west! There's your danger! There's your enemy! Japan!
Why, yes, of course.
Teddy!
No, Aunt Abby. Not so much talk about Europe and more about the canal.
Well, let's not talk about the war. Won't you have another cup of tea, dear?
No, thank you, Aunt Abby.
Dr. Harper?
No, thank you, Miss Abby. War and violence seem to be far removed from these surroundings.
It is peaceful here, isn't it?
Yes, peaceful. The virtues of another day, they're all here in this house. The gentle virtues that come along with candlelight, and good manners, and low taxes.
It's one of the oldest houses in Brooklyn. It's just as when Grandfather Brewster built and furnished it, except for the electricity. And we use it as little as possible. It was Mortimer who persuaded us to put it in.
Yes, your nephew Mortimer seems to only live by electric light.
The poor boy has to work so late. I understand he's taken Elaine again with him to the theater tonight. Teddy, your brother Mortimer will be here a little later.
Delighted.
We're so happy it's Elaine Mortimer takes to the theater with him.
Well, it's a new experience for me to wait up until 3 o'clock in the morning for my daughter to be brought home.
Oh, Dr. Harper, I hope you don't disapprove of Mortimer.
Well,
We'd feel so guilty if you did, Sister Martha and I, since it was here in our home that your daughter met Mortimer.
of course, Miss Abby. And I'll say so immediately that I believe your nephew Mortimer to be quite a worthy gentleman. But I must also admit that I watched the growing intimacy between him and my daughter with some trepidation. For one reason, Miss Abby.
You mean his stomach, Dr. Harper.
Stomach?
His dyspepsia. He's bothered with it so, poor boy.
No, Miss Abby. I'll be frank with you. I'm speaking of your nephew's unfortunate connection to the theater.
The theater? Oh no, Mortimer writes for a New York newspaper.
I know, Miss Abby, I know. But a dramatic critic is constantly exposed to the theater. And I wouldn't doubt but what some of them do to develop an interest in it.
Well, not Mortimer. You need have no fear of that. Why, Mortimer hates the theater.
Really?
Oh, yes. He writes awful things about it. But you can't blame him, poor boy. He was so happy writing about real estate, which he really knew something about, and then they made him take this terrible night position.
My.
But as he says, the theater can't last much longer, and in the meantime, it's a living. Yes, if we give the theater another year or two, perhaps... Well, now who do you suppose that is? No, thank you, Teddy. I'll go. Come in, Mr. Brophy.
Hello, Miss Brewster.
How are you, Mr. Klein?
Very well, Miss Brewster.
What news have you brought to me?
Colonel, we have nothing to report.
Splendid. Thank you, gentlemen. At ease.
You know Dr. Harper.
Sure. Hello, Dr. Harper. We've come for the toys for the Christmas club.
Oh, yes.
That is splendid work you men do, fixing up discarded toys to give poor children a happier Christmas.
It gives us something to do when we have to sit around the station all day. You're tired of playing cards and you start cleaning your gun. The next thing you know, you shot yourself in the foot.
Teddy, go upstairs to your Aunt Martha's room and grab that big box. How is Mrs. Brophy today?
Charge!
Mrs. Brophy has been quite ill, Dr. Harper.
Pneumonia.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, she's better now. A little weak still.
I'll get you some beef broth to take to her.
Don't bother, Miss Abby. You've done so much for her already.
Oh, we made it this morning. Sister Martha's taking some to poor Mr. Benitsky right now. I won't take a minute. Sit down and be comfortable, all of you.
She shouldn't go to all that trouble. Listen, try to stop her or her sister from doing something nice. And for nothing. They don't even care how you vote.
When I received my call to Brooklyn and moved next door, my wife wasn't well. When she died, and for months before, well, if I know what pure kindness and absolute generosity are, it's because I've known the Brewster sisters.
Colonel? You promised not to do that.
But I have to call a cabinet meeting to get the release of those supplies.
He used to do that in the middle of the night. The neighbors raised Cain with us. They're a little afraid of him anyway.
Oh, he's quite harmless.
Suppose he does think he's Teddy Roosevelt. There's a lot worse people he think he was. It's a shame. A nice family like this, hatching a cuckoo? Well, his father, the girl's brother, was some sort of genius, wasn't he? And their father, Katie's grandfather, seems to me, I've heard, was a little crazy too. Yeah, crazy like a fox. He made $1 million.
Really? Here in Brooklyn?
Yeah, patent medicine. He was a kind of quack of some sort. Old Sergeant Edwards remembers him. He used the house here as some sort of a clinic. Tried him out on people. I heard he used to make mistakes occasionally too. The department never bothered him much because he was pretty useful on autopsies sometimes, especially poison cases. Well, whatever he did, he left his daughter's face for life. Thank heavens for that. Not that they ever spent any of it on themselves.
Yes, I'm well acquainted with their charities.
Oh, you don't know the tenth of it. When I was with the missing persons unit, I tried to track down this old man that I never did find. Say, you know that there's this renting agency that has its house down for furnished rooms? They don't rent rooms, but you can bet that anyone who comes here looking for a room goes away with a good meal, probably a few dollars in their day. It's just their way of digging up people to do some good to.
Well, now isn't this nice?
Good afternoon, sister.
How do you do, Mr. Brophy? Dr. Harper? Mr. Klein?
Very well, Miss Brewster. We come for the Christmas toys.
Oh, yes. Teddy's Army and Navy. They wear out. They're all packed.
The colonel's upstairs after them. It seems the cabinet has to okay it.
Of course. I hope Mrs. Brophy's feeling better.
She's doing fine, ma'am. Your sister's getting some soup for me to take to her.
Oh, yes. We just made that this morning. I just took some to a poor man who broke ever so many bones. Oh, Martha, you're back. How is Mr. Benitsky? It's pretty serious, I'm afraid. The doctor was there. He's going to amputate in the morning. Can we be present? No. I asked him, but he said it would be against the rules of the hospital.
You couldn't be of any service, and you must spare yourself something.
Here's the prop, Mr. Brophy. Be sure it's good and hot.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, these are fine. We'll make a lot of you happy. That old Mally boy's nuts about soldiers.
That's General Miles. I retired him. What's this? The Oregon?
Teddy, here, put it back.
But the Oregon goes to Australia.
Now, Teddy.
No, I've given my word to Fighting Bob Evans.
But Teddy.
What's the difference Bobby Evans. Is he going? We'll run along, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Not at all. Goodbye.
I best be on my way too.
Charge!
Charge?
The stairs are always San Juan Hill.
Have you guys ever tried to persuade him that he was anyone besides Teddy Roosevelt?
Oh no! Why, he's so happy being Teddy Roosevelt. Once, a long time ago, remember, Martha? We thought if he'd be George Washington, it would be a change for him. But instead, he stayed under his bed for days and just wouldn't be anyone. And he'd so much rather he'd be Mr. Roosevelt than nobody.
Well, if you guys are happy, and more importantly, he's happy. Here, you'll see that he signs these.
What are they? Dr. Harper has arranged for Teddy to go to Happy Dale Sanitarium after we pass on. But why should we sign any papers now?
It's better to have it all settled. If the Lord should take you away suddenly, perhaps we couldn't get Teddy to sign the papers, and that would mean an unfortunate legal procedure. Mr. Witherspoon understands that they are to be filed away until the time comes to use them.
Mr. Witherspoon?
He's the superintendent of Happy Dale.
Dr. Harper has arranged for Mr. Witherspoon to drop in tomorrow or the next day to meet Teddy.
Well, I better be on my way, or Elaine will be out here looking for me.
Give our love to Elaine. Oh, and Dr. Harper, don't disapprove of Mortimer because he's a dramatic critic. Somebody has to do those things. Did you just have tea? Isn't it rather late? Yes. And dinner's going to be late too. Why? Teddy, good news. You're going to have to go to Panama and dig another lot for the canal.
Delighted! That's bully! Just bully! I shall prepare at once for the journey. Charge!
Abby? Well, I was out. Yes, dear. I just couldn't wait for you. I didn't know when you'd be back, and Dr. Harper was coming. But all by yourself? Oh, I got along fine. Well, I'll run right downstairs and see. Oh, Martha, there wasn't time. I was all alone. Well, Martha, just look in the window seat. Oh, it's Elaine. Come in, dear.
Good afternoon, Miss Abby. Good afternoon, Miss Martha. I thought Father was here.
He just this minute left. Didn't you meet him?
No, I took the shortcut through the cemetery. Mortimer hasn't come yet?
No, dear, not yet.
Oh, he asked me to meet him here. Do you mind if I wait?
Not at all. Why don't you sit down? But really, we must speak to Mortimer about doing this to you.
Doing what?
Well, we raised him to know better. When a gentleman is taking a young lady out, he should call for her at her house.
Oh, there's something about calling for a girl at a parsonage that discourages any man who doesn't embroider.
He's done this too often. We're going to speak to him.
Oh, please don't. After young men whose idea of nightlife was taking me to a prayer meeting, it's wonderful to go to the theater almost every night of my life.
It's very comforting for us, too. Because if Mortimer has to go see some of those shows, at least he's sitting next to a minister's daughter. Oh, Elaine, what you must think of us not having tea cleared away by this time. Now, don't you worry about anything in the kitchen until Mortimer gets back, and then I'll come help you. He should be back any minute now.
Yes, Father must have been surprised not to find me at home. I'd better run over and say goodnight to him.
It's a shame you missed him, dear.
If Mortimer comes, you tell him I'll be right back. Hello, Mort.
Hello, Elaine. Hello, Aunt Martha.
Abby, Mortimer's here.
Were you going somewhere?
I was just going over to tell Father not to wait up for me.
I wasn't aware that was still being done, even in Brooklyn.
Hello, Mortimer.
Hello, Aunt Tabby.
How are you, dear?
All right, and you look well. haven't changed much since yesterday.
Oh, my goodness, it was yesterday, wasn't it? We've seen a great deal of you lately. Well, why don't you sit down? Abby, haven't we things to do in the kitchen? Huh? You know, the tea things. Oh, yes. Yes, the tea things. Well, you two just make yourselves at home. Just make yourselves at home.
Well, can't you take a hint?
No, that was pretty obvious. A lack of inventiveness, I should say.
Yes, that's exactly what you say.
Where do you want to go to dinner?
I don't care. I'm not very hungry.
I just had breakfast. Suppose we wait till after the show.
But that'll make it pretty late, won't it?
Not with the little stinker we're seeing tonight. From what I've heard, we'll be at Blake's by 10 o'clock.
You ought to be fair to these plays.
Are these plays fair to me?
I've never seen you walk out on a musical.
That musical's not opening tonight.
No?
Darling, you'll have to learn the rules. With a musical, there are always 3 postponements and 4 changes of title. They like it in New Haven, but it still needs a lot of work.
I was hoping it was a musical.
You have such a light mind.
Not a bit. Musicals somehow have a humanizing effect on you. After a serious play, you join the proletariat in the subway, and I listen to a lecture on the drama. After a musical, you take me home in a taxi. And you make a few passes.
Oh, now hold on a minute, dear. That's a very inaccurate piece of reporting.
Oh, I'll admit, after the Berman play, you told me I had an authentic beauty. And that's a devilish thing to say to a girl. It wasn't until after our first musical you told me I had nice legs. And I had, too.
For a minister's daughter, you sure know a lot about life. Where'd you learn it?
In the choir loft.
I'll explain that to you sometime, dear. The close connection between eroticism and religion.
Religion never makes it as high as the choir loft. Which reminds me, I'd better run over and tell Father not to wait up for me tonight.
I've never been able to rationalize it.
What?
My falling in love with a girl from Brooklyn.
Falling in love? You're not stooping to be articulate, are you?
In order to regain my self-respect, I'll have to keep you in New York.
Did you say keep?
Oh no, I've come to the conclusion that you're holding out for the legalities.
I can afford to be a good girl for quite a few years yet.
And I can't wait that long. Where could we be married in a hurry? Say, tonight.
I'm afraid Father will insist on officiating.
Oh, heavens. I'll bet your father can make even the marriage service sound pedestrian.
Are you by any chance writing a review of it?
Forgive me, darling. It's an occupational disease. I think I may give that play tonight a good review.
No, darling, don't pretend you love me that much.
Are you sure to tell your father not to wait up tonight?
I think I'd better tell him to wait up.
I'll telephone Winchell to publish the banns.
Nevertheless.
Oh, fine. Everything formal and legal. But no later than next month.
Oh, darling, I'll talk it over with Father and set the date.
Oh, no. We'll have to see what's in rehearsal first. There are a lot of other first nights in October.
Hello, Mortimer.
How are you, Mr. President?
Bully, thank you, just bully. What news have you brought me?
Just this, Mr. President. The country is squarely behind you.
I know. Isn't it wonderful? Well, goodbye. Goodbye.
Where are you off to, Teddy?
Panama.
Panama's the cellar. He digs locks down there for the canal.
You're so sweet with him, and he's very fond of you.
Teddy always was my favorite brother.
Favor? Were there more of you?
There was another brother, Jonathan.
I've never heard of him. Your aunts never mentioned him.
No, we don't like to talk about Jonathan. He left Brooklyn very early on, by request. He was the kind of boy who liked to chop worms in half with his teeth.
What became of him?
I don't know. He wanted to become a surgeon, like grandfather, but he wouldn't go to medical school first, and his practice got him into trouble.
Aren't you two going to be late for the theater?
We're skipping dinner. We will have to start for half an hour.
Well, in that case, I'll leave you two alone together again.
Oh, don't bother, darling. I'm going to run over to speak to Father. Before I go out with you, he likes to pray over me a little. I'll be right back. I'll take the shortcut through the cemetery.
If the prayer isn't too long, I'd have time to lead you beside the still waters.
Oh, Mortimer, that's the first time I ever heard you quote the Bible. We knew Elaine would be a good influence for you.
By the way, I'm going to marry her.
What? Oh, darling. Martha! Martha, come in here. I have the most wonderful news. Mortimer and Elaine are going to be married. Married? Oh, Mortimer. We hoped it would happen just like this. Well, Elaine must be the happiest girl in the world.
Happy? Just look at her, leaping over those gravestones. Say, what's that?
What's what, dear?
That statue. That's a Horndenina carnina.
Oh, no, dear. That's Emma B. Stout ascending to heaven.
On Emma B's left ear. That bird. That's a red-crested swallow. I've only seen one of them before in my life.
I don't know how you can be thinking about a bird right now. What with Elaine and the engagement and all.
It's a vanishing species. Thoreau was very fond of them. By the way, I left a large envelope around here last week. It was a chapter on my book on Thoreau. Have you seen it?
Well, if you left it here, it must be there somewhere. What are your plans? When are you going to be married? Well, there must be something more you can tell us about Elaine.
Elaine? Oh, yes. She thought it was brilliant.
What was, dear?
My chapter on Thoreau.
Well, when Elaine gets back, I think we ought to have a little celebration. We must toast to your happiness. Martha, isn't there some of that Lady Baltimore cake left? Oh, yes. And I'll open a bottle of wine. And to think it happened in this room.
Now, where could I have put that?
Well, with your fiancé sitting beside you tonight, I do hope the play will be something you can enjoy for once. It may be romantic. What's the name of it?
Murder Will Out.
Oh, dear.
When the curtain comes up, the first thing you see is a dead body.
Yes, dear.
You were gonna make arrangements for Teddy to go to that sanitarium happy dinner?
Oh, yes. Dr. Harper was here this morning. He brought the papers for Teddy to sign. Here they are.
He's gotta sign them right away.
That's what Dr. Harper thinks. Then there won't be any legal difficulties after we pass on.
He's gotta sign them this minute. He's down in the cellar. Get him up here quick.
There's no such hurry as that. No, when Teddy starts working on the canal, you can't get his mind on anything else.
Teddy has to go to Happydale tonight.
Oh, no, dear. That's not until after we're gone.
No, right away, I tell you, right away.
Mortimer, how can you say such a thing? Why, as long as we live, we'll never be separated from Teddy.
I'm frightfully sorry, darlings, but I've got some shocking news. Now we've all got to try and keep our heads. You know, we sort of humored Teddy because we thought he was harmless.
Why, he is harmless.
He was harmless. That's why he has to go to Happydale. Why he has to be confined.
Mortimer, why have you suddenly turned against Teddy? Your own brother.
You've got to know sometime. It might as well be now. Teddy's killed a man.
Nonsense.
There's a body in the window seat.
Yes, dear. we know.
You know?
Of course, dear. But it has nothing to do with Teddy. Now, Mortimer, forget the whole thing. Forget you ever saw the gentleman.
Forget?
We never dreamed you'd peep.
Well, who is he?
His name's Hoskins. Adam Hoskins. That's really all I know about him. Except that he's a Methodist.
That's all you know about him? But what's he doing here? What happened to him?
He died.
Aunt Martha, men don't just get in the window seats and die.
No, he died first.
Well, how?
Oh, Mortimer, don't be so inquisitive. The gentleman died because he drank some wine with poison in it.
How did the poison get in the wine?
Well, you put it in wine because it's less noticeable. When it's in tea, it has a distinct odor.
You put it in the wine?
Yes, and I put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat because Dr. Harper was coming.
So you knew what you'd done? You didn't want Dr. Harper to see the body.
Well, not the tea. That would have been very nice. Now, Mortimer, you know the whole thing. Forget you ever saw the gentleman. I do believe Martha and I have a right to our own little secrets. And don't you tell Elaine. While I was out, I checked in on Mrs. Schultz. She's feeling much better, but she would like us to take Junior to the movies again. Well, we must do that tomorrow or the next day. Of course. But this time, we get to choose where we want to go. I won't let Junior drag me into another one of those scary pictures.
City desk. Hello? Al? Do you know who this is? Yeah, that's right. Say Al. When I left this morning, I told you where I was going, right? Well, where did I say? Uh-huh. It would take me about half an hour to get to Brooklyn. Yeah, what time have you got? Yep, that's right. I must be here. And Dabby and Martha, come in here. What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
What are we going to do about what, dear?
There's a body in there.
Yes, Mr. Hoskins.
Well, for heaven's sake, I can't turn you over to the police. But what am I going to do?
Well, for one thing, dear, stop being so excited. And for pity's sake, stop worrying. We told you to forget the whole thing.
Forget? Aunt Abby, how can I make you understand that something has to be done?
Mortimer, you get a hold of yourself. You're too old to be flying off the handle like this.
But Mr. Hotchkiss!
Hoskins, dear.
Well, whatever his name is, we can't leave him in there.
We don't intend to, dear. No, Teddy's downstairs now digging a lot for the canal.
You're going to bury Mr. Hotchkiss in the cellar?
Of course. That's what the others.
No, you cannot! Others?
The other gentry.
When you say others, do you mean others? As in more than one others?
Of course. Let me think. This is 11. Dad, no, dear. This makes 12.
glad to hear your voice.
Well, in any case, they're all down in the cellar.
No, Al, I'm sober as a lark. I just called because I was feeling a little parandello. Parent, you wouldn't know. Listen, Al, I'm glad I called you. Get a hold of George right away. He's got to cover that play tonight. I can't make it. No, Al, you're wrong. No, I'll tell you about it tomorrow. This is my department, and I'm running it. No, you get a hold of George. Now, let's see. Where were we? 12!
Yes. Abby thinks we ought to cut the first one, and that means 12.
All right. Now, who was the first one?
Mr. Midgley. He was a Baptist. I still don't think we can claim full credit for him, because he just died. Martha means without any help from us. You see, Mr. Midgley came here looking for a room. It was right after you moved to New York, and it didn't seem right for that lovely room to be going to waste when there were so many people who needed it. He was such a lonely old man. All his kith and kin were dead, and it left him so forlorn and unhappy. We felt so sorry for him. And then when his heart attack came, and he sat dead in that chair, looking so peaceful. Remember, Martha, we made up our minds then and there that if we could help other lonely old men to that same peace, we would.
He dropped dead in that chair? How awful for you.
Oh, no, dear. It was rather like old times. Your grandfather used to keep a cadaver or two around the house. You see, Teddy could take the Panama and sell it, and he thought Mr. Ridgely was a yellow fever victim. That meant he had to be buried immediately. So we took him down to Panama and put him in the loft. You see, this is why we told you not to worry about anything, because we know exactly what's to be done.
And that's how all this started? That man walking in here and dropping dead.
Of course, we knew we couldn't count on that happening again, so all those jars of poison in Grandfather's laboratory all these years. And you know your Aunt Martha's knack for mixing things. You've eaten enough of her pickle, Lily. Well, for 1 gallon of elderberry wine, I take a teaspoonful of arsenic, and then half a teaspoonful of strychnine, and then just a pinch of cyanide.
Should have quite a kick.
Yes, as a matter of fact, one of our gentlemen found the time to say, "How delicious."
cross, darling? Father could see that I was excited, so I told him about us.
And that made it hard for me to get away. But listen, darling, he's not going to wait up for me tonight.
You run along home, Elaine, and I'll call you up tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
You know I'd call you up every day or two.
But we're going to the theater tonight.
Oh, no, we're not.
Well, why not?
Elaine, something has come up.
What, darling? Mortimer, you've lost your
No,
job.
I haven't lost my job. I'm just not covering that play tonight. Now, you run along home, Elaine.
But I've got to know what's happened. Certainly you can tell me.
Oh, no, dear, I can't.
But if we're going to be married...
Married?
Have you forgotten that not 15 minutes ago you proposed to me?
I did? Oh, yes. Well, as far as I know, that's still on. Now, you run along home, Elaine. I've got something to do.
Listen, you can't propose to me one minute and throw me out of the house the next.
I'm not throwing you out of the house, dear. Will you get out of here?
No, I won't get out of here. Not until I've had some kind of explanation.
Hello? Hi, Al. Hang on a minute, will you? Yes, it's important, but it can wait, can it? Hold on. Look, Elaine, you're a sweet girl, and I love you, but I've got something on my mind now, and I want you to go home and wait until I call you up.
Don't try to be masterful.
When we're married and I have problems to face, I hope you're less tedious and uninspired.
And when we're married, if we're married, I hope I find you adequate.
Elaine! Elaine! Hello? Al? Hello? 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 Al? Hello?
That's the doorbell, dear, not the telephone. How do you do?
I understand you have a room to rent.
Yes, won't you step in?
Are you the lady of the house?
Yes, I'm Miss Brewster, and this is my sister, another Miss Brewster.
My name is Gibbs.
I'm sorry, we were just setting the table for dinner. Won't you sit down?
Hello? Let me talk to Al again. City desk.
May
Al! City desk! What? Sorry, wrong number.
May I see the room?
Why don't we sit down a minute and let's get acquainted?
That won't do much good if I don't like the room.
Is Brooklyn your home?
Haven't got a home. Live in a hotel. Don't like it.
Hello? City desk.
Are your family Brooklyn people
Haven't got any family.
all alone in the world?
Yep.
Well, Martha, well, you've come to just the right house. Do sit down.
Hello? Al? Mort, we got cut off. No, listen, Al. I can't cover that play tonight. No, that's all there is to it. I can't.
What church do you go to? There's an Episcopal church practically next door.
I'm Presbyterian. Used to be.
What is George doing in Bermuda? Of course I told George he'd go to Bermuda. It's my department, isn't it? Well, look out, you've got to get someone else. There must be someone around the office.
Is there always this much noise?
Oh, no. He doesn't live with us.
Say, Al, how about the office boy? Yeah, you know, the bright one. The one we don't like. Well, you go look. I'll hold on.
I'd really like to go see the room.
It's upstairs. But won't you try a glass of our wine before we start up?
Never touch it.
We make it ourselves. It's elderberry wine.
Elderberry. I haven't had elderberry wine since I was a boy. Thank you.
Look, Al, there must be some printers around. Say, Al, the fellow who sets my copy, he ought to know what I write. His name is Joe. Yeah, he's the third machine from the left. But ow, he could turn out to be another Burns Mantle.
Do you have your own elderberry bushes?
No, but the cemetery is full of them.
No, I'm not drinking, but I'm starting now.
You sure can.
We might, but first just see whether you like our wine. Mortimer, not that. Now you've spoiled everything.
You can't do things like that. I don't know how to make you understand this, but not only is it against the law, it's wrong. It's not a very nice thing to do. People wouldn't understand. He wouldn't understand.
Abby, we shouldn't have told Mortimer.
Well, what I'm trying to say is, this is developing into a very bad habit.
Mortimer, we don't try to stop you from doing things you like to do. I don't see why you should interfere with us.
Hello? Fine, I'll see the first act, and I'll can the devil out of it. But listen now, I have something I want you to do for me. Yeah, get a hold of O'Brien, our lawyer, the head of our legal department. Yeah, have them meet me at the theater. Don't let me down now. All right, I'm starting now. I've got to go to the theater. I can't get out of it. But before I go, I want you to promise me something.
Well, we have to know what it is first.
You know I love you very much, and I know you love me. You know I'd do anything in the world for you. And now I want you to do just this little thing for me.
Well, what do you want us to do?
Don't do anything. And I mean, don't do anything. Don't let anyone in this house, and leave Mr. Hoskins where he is.
Why?
I need time to think. I've got a lot to think about. You know I wouldn't want anything to happen to you.
Well, what can happen to us here?
Anyway, you'll do this for me, won't you?
Well, we were planning on holding services before dinner.
Services?
Certainly. You don't think we buried Mr. Hoskins without a full Methodist service, do you? Why? He was a Methodist.
But can't that wait till I get back?
Oh, then you could join us.
Yes, yes.
Oh, Mortimer, you'll love the services, especially the hymns. Remember how beautifully Mortimer used to sing in the choir before his voice changed?
And remember, you're not going to let anyone in this house. It's a promise?
Well, oh, Martha, we could do that now that Mortimer's cooperating with us. Well, all right, Mortimer.
Have you got any paper? I'll be back just as soon as I can. There's a man I need to see.
Here's some stationery. Will this do?
Yes, this will be fine. I can save time if I write my review on the way to the theater.
Mortimer didn't seem quite himself today. Well, that's only natural. I think I know why. Why? He's just become engaged to be married. I suppose that always makes a man nervous. Well, I'm very happy for Elaine. And our honeymoon ought to give Mortimer a real vacation. I don't think he got much rest this summer. Well, at least he didn't go kiting off to China or Spain. I never understood why he wanted to go to those places. Well, I think to Mortimer, the theater has always seemed pretty small potatoes. He needs something bigger to criticize. Something like the human race. Well, if
going to join us for the services for Mr. Hoskins. We'll need another hymnal. There's one in my room.
You know, dear, it's been my turn to read for the services. But since you weren't here when Mr. Hoskins first came in, I'll let you do it.
Well, that's very nice of you. But are you sure you want me to?
It's only fair.
Well, I think I'll wear my black bombazine and mother's old brooch.
I'll go, dear.
We promised Mortimer we wouldn't let anyone in.
Well, who do you suppose it is?
It's two men. I've never seen them before.
Are you sure?
There's a car on the curb. They must have come and back.
Let me look.
Come in, doctor. This is the home of my youth. As a boy, I couldn't wait to escape from this place. Now I'm glad to escape back into it.
Yeah, it's a fine hideout.
Some family must still live here. Something so unmistakably rooster about the roosters. Hope there's a fatted calf awaiting the return of the prodigal.
Yeah, I'm hungry. Look, Johnny, drinks!
As though we're expected. A good omen.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Why, Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha. It's Jonathan.
You get out of here.
But I'm Jonathan. Your nephew, Jonathan.
Oh, no, you're not. You're nothing like Jonathan. So don't pretend you are. You just get out of here.
But I am Jonathan, and this is Dr. Einstein.
And he's not Dr. Einstein either.
Not Dr. Albert Einstein, Dr. Herman Einstein.
Who are you? You're not our nephew Jonathan.
I see you're still wearing that lovely garnet ring that Grandma Brewster bought for you in England. And you, Aunt Martha, still the high collar to hide a scar where grandfather's acid burned you.
His voice is like Jonathan's.
Have you been in an accident?
No, my face. Dr. Einstein is responsible for that. He's a plastic surgeon. He changes people's faces.
I've seen that face before. Abby, remember when we went to the movies and I was so frightened? It was that face.
Easy, Johnny, easy. Don't worry, ladies. These last 5 years, I give Johnny 3 new faces. I give him another one, right away. This last face, well, I saw that picture too. Just before I operate. And I was intoxicated.
See, Doctor? You see what you've done to me?
Johnny, you're home, in this lovely house. How often he tells me about Brooklyn, about this house, about his aunts that he loves so much. Say no to Johnny. You know it's Jonathan. Speak to him. Tell him so.
Well, Jonathan, It's been quite a long time. What have you been up to all these years?
Yes. Jonathan, where have you been?
Well, England, South Africa, Australia. The last 5 years in Chicago. Dr. Einstein and I were in business there together.
Oh, we were in Chicago for the World's Fair.
Yes. We found Chicago awfully warm.
Yeah, it got hot for us too.
Well, it's wonderful to be in Brooklyn again, and you, Abby, Martha, don't look a day older, just as I remember you. Sweet, charming, hospitable. And, dear Teddy, did he ever get into politics? My little brother, Doctor, was determined to become president.
Teddy's fine, just fine. And Mortimer's well, too.
I know all about Mortimer. I've seen his picture at the head of his column. He's evidently fulfilled the promise of his early nasty nature.
We're very fond of Mortimer.
Well, Jonathan, it was very nice to have seen you again.
Bless you, Aunt Martha. It's good to be home again.
Well, we mustn't let what's on the stove boil over.
Well, Jonathan, if you'll excuse us for a minute, unless you're in a hurry to go somewhere.
Well, where did we go from here? We got to see fast. The police have got pictures of sad face. We got to operate a new right of way. We got to find some place for that. And we got to find a place for Mr. Spinozzo, too.
Don't waste any worry on that rat.
But Sean, we got a hot stiff on our hands.
Forget Mr. Spinozzo.
You shouldn't have killed him, John. He's a nice fellow. He gives us a lift, and what happens?
He said I looked like Boris Karloff. That's your doing, Doctor.
No, John, I fix you up quick. We find some place for that.
Tonight.
John, not tonight. I got to eat first. I'm hungry. I'm weak.
Jonathan, we're very glad that you came and took the time to say hello. But you were never happy in this house, and we were never happy while you were in it. So we've just come in to say goodbye.
My dear Aunt Abby, I must say your feelings toward me don't come as a surprise. I've spent a great many hours regarding the many heartaches I must have caused you as a boy.
You were quite a trial to us, Jonathan.
Yes, but my great disappointment is for Dr. Einstein. You see, I promised him that no matter how rushed we were in passing through Brooklyn, I'd bring him right here for one of Aunt Martha's home-cooked dinners.
Oh. I'm sorry. I'm afraid there wouldn't be enough.
Abby, it's a pretty good sized pot roast.
Pot roast.
I think the least we can do is have
Thank you, Aunt Martha. We'll stay to dinner.
Well, we'll hurry along. Yes. Oh, Jonathan, if you need to freshen up, why don't you use the washroom in Grandfather's old laboratory?
Is that still there?
Yes, just as you left it. Well, I'll go help Martha, since we're all in a hurry.
Well, we get to meal anyway.
Grandfather's laboratory. And just as it was, Doctor. A perfect operating room.
Why work yourself up, Johnny? Too bad we can't use it.
When you've finished with me, why, we can make a fortune here. The laboratory, the large ward in the attic, 10 beds, Doctor. And Brooklyn is crying for your talents.
For Brooklyn, I think we're a year too late.
You don't know this town, Doctor. Practically everyone needs a new face.
But so many of the old faces are locked up.
A very small percentage. And the boys in Brooklyn are famous for paying generously to stay out of jail.
Take it easy, Johnny. Your aunts, they don't want us here.
We're here for dinner, aren't we?
Yeah, but after dinner?
Leave it to me, Doctor. I'll handle it. Why, this'll be our headquarters for years.
Oh, that would be beautiful, eh, Johnny? This nice, quiet house. Those aunts of yours, what sweet ladies. I love them already. I get some eggs, yeah?
Doctor, we must wait until we're invited.
But you just said that.
We'll be invited.
And if they say no,
Please, Doctor. Two helpless old women?
it's like comes true, a beautiful dream. Only, I hope you're not dreaming. It's so peaceful.
Yes, that's what makes this house so perfect for us. It's so peaceful. Yes, and geez, those 5 years in Chicago among the busiest and happiest in my life.
And from Chicago, we go to South Bend, Indiana.
My aunts would be interested in our experiences in Indiana.
Well, Jonathan, you've led a very interesting life, I'm sure, but we really shouldn't have allowed you to talk so late.
My meeting Dr. Einstein, I might say, changed the whole course of my life. You remember, I've been in South Africa, the diamond market, then in Amsterdam, the diamond business. Well, I wanted to go back to South Africa, and Dr. Einstein made it possible for me.
A good job, Johnny. When we take off his bandages, his face looks so different, the nurse had to introduce me.
Yes, I loved that face. Still keep a picture of it around with me.
This looks more the way you used to, but I still wouldn't know you.
I think we'll go back to that face, Doctor.
Yeah, it's safe now.
Well, I'm sure you both want to get to where you're going.
My dear Aunt Tabby, I'm so full of that delicious dinner, I couldn't move a muscle.
Yeah, it's nice here.
Well, after all, it's getting very late.
I found it! I found it!
What did you find, Teddy?
The story of my life. My biography. Here we are, both of us. President Roosevelt and General Goebbels at Kulabur Cut. That's me, Jim. And that's you.
My, how I've changed.
Well, you see that picture hasn't been taken yet. We haven't even started work on Kulabur Cut. We're still digging logs. And now, General, we will both go to Panama and inspect the new canal.
No, Teddy, not to Panama.
We go some other time. Panama's a long way off.
Nonsense. It's just down in the sun.
The cellar?
We let him dig the Panama Canal in the sun.
General Goethals, as President of the United States, Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy, and the man who gave you this job, I demand that you accompany me on the inspection of this new lock.
Teddy, I think it's time you went to bed.
I beg your pardon? Who are you?
I am Woodrow Wilson. Now go to bed.
No, you're not Wilson. But your face is familiar. Let me see. You're not anyone I know now. Perhaps later. On my hunting trip to Africa. Yes. You look like someone I might meet in the jungle.
It's your brother Jonathan, dear. He's had his face changed.
So that's it. A nature faker!
And perhaps you had better get to bed, Teddy. Jonathan and his friend must be getting back to their hotel.
General Goethals, inspect the canal.
All right, Mr. President. We go to Panama.
Bully. Follow me, General. It's down south, you know.
Well, bon voyage.
Anta, I must correct your misapprehension. You spoke of our hotel. We have no hotel. We came right here.
Well, there's a very nice hotel just a few blocks down the
Aunt
road.
Martha, this is my home.
But Jonathan, you can't stay here. We need our rooms.
You need them?
Yes, for our lodgers.
Are there lodgers in this house?
Well, not at this time, but we do plan to have some.
Then my old room is still free.
But there wouldn't be room for Dr. Einstein.
They'll share a room with me.
No, Jonathan, I'm afraid you can't stay here.
Dr. Einstein and I need a place to sleep. You remembered this afternoon I could be quite disagreeable. It wouldn't be very pleasant for any of us.
Perhaps we'd better let them stay for the night.
That's settled then. Now if you'll get our room ready.
It only needs airing out.
We keep it ready to show our lodgers. I think you and Dr. Einstein will find it very comfortable.
You have a most distinguished guest in Dr. Einstein. I'm afraid you don't appreciate his skill, but you will. In a few weeks, you'll see me looking like a very different Jonathan.
He can't operate on you here.
When Dr. Einstein and I get organized, when we resume practice. Oh, I forgot to tell you, we're turning grandfather's laboratory into an operating room. We expect to be quite busy.
Jonathan, we will not let you turn this house into a hospital.
A hospital? Heavens, no. It'll be a beauty parlor.
Hey, John, down in Chisago.
Dr. Einstein, my dear aunts have invited us to live with them.
Oh, you fixed it.
Well, you're staying here tonight.
You'll get our room ready immediately.
Well,
For tonight.
Hey, John. When I go down in Chisago, what do you think I find?
What?
It's the Panama Canal.
The Panama Canal.
It just fits Mr. Spinoza. It's a whole teddy bear. 6 feet long by 4 feet wide.
Down there.
You'd think they knew if you bring Mr. Spinoza along. That's hospitality.
a joke on my aunts. They'll be living with a body buried in their sewing.
How do we get him in?
Oh, yes. Can't just bring him in through the door. We'll bring up the car behind the cemetery in the house. Then when they've all gone to bed, we'll bring Mr. Spinozzo in through the window.
Bed. Just think, we've got to bed tonight.
Easy, Doctor. Remember, you're operating tomorrow, and this time you better be sober.
I fix you up beautiful.
And if you don't,
Jonathan, your room is ready.
we'll just bring the car up behind the house.
It's all right where it is. Until morning.
I don't want to leave it in the street. It might be against the law.
Abby, what are we going to do?
Well, we're not going to allow him to stay in this house for more than one night, for one thing. What would the neighbors think? People coming in with one face and going out with another.
What are we going to do about Mr. Hoskins?
Oh, Mr. Hoskins. Can't be very comfortable for him in there. And he's been so patient, the poor dear. Well, I think we'd better get Teddy to take him down to the canal right away.
Abby, I will not invite Jonathan to the funeral services.
Oh, no. We'll wait until they've gone to bed and then come down and hold the services.
General Goethals was very pleased. He says the canal is just the right size.
Teddy, there's been another yellow fever victim.
Oh, dear me. This will be a shock to the general.
Then we must tell him about it.
But it's his department.
No, Teddy, we mustn't tell him. It would just spoil his visit.
I'm sorry, he'll have to be told. Army regulations, you know.
No, Teddy, you must keep it a secret.
Yes.
A state secret.
Yes, a state secret.
Promise?
You have the word of the President of the United States. Cross my heart and hope to die. Now let's see. How are we going to keep it a secret?
Well, dear, you go down to the cellar, and when I turn out the lights, when it's all dark, you come up and take the poor dear down to the canal. Now go along, Teddy.
And we'll come down later and hold services.
You may announce the President will say a few words. Where is the poor devil?
He's in the window seat.
It seems to be spreading. We've never had yellow fever there before.
Martha, with Jonathan and Dr. Einstein back, let's see if we can get them to go to bed right away.
Yes. And then, by the time they're asleep, we'll be dressed for the services. Abby, I've never even seen Mr. Hoskins.
Oh, my goodness, that's right. You were out. Well, you just come right over here and look at him. He's really very nice looking, considering he's a Methodist.
We're bringing the luggage in through here.
Jonathan, your room's waiting for you. You can go right up.
I'm afraid we don't keep Brooklyn hours, but you two can run along to bed.
Now, you must be very tired, both of you. And we don't go to bed this early.
Well, you should. It's time I came home to take care of you two.
Well,
We were planning to go until we were ready.
Aunt Martha, did you hear me say go to bed?
Yes. Come along, Abby.
The instrument case can go to grandfather's laboratory in the morning.
Now we're all going to bed.
I'll wait till you're up, then turn out the lights.
Another flight, Doctor. Run along, Aunt Martha. All right, Aunt Abby.
I'll be right up.
Now, turn out the lights.
You go around and hand them through. I'll get the window open. He's too heavy for me. You go and push. I stay here and pull. Send together if we get him down to man. All right. I'll take a look around outside the house. When I tap on the glass, you open the window. All right. Who left this open? Dumb. Johnny. Okay. Oh, you list the legs. Okay, I got them. Hold on. That was me, Johnny. I slipped. Oh,
Be more careful.
well, the shoe came off. Okay, I got them. Oh no, somebody else go. Go quick. No, I stay here. Go quick.
Miss Abby, Miss Martha. Miss Abby, Miss Martha. Who is it? Is that you, Teddy? Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Marlene Harper. I live next door.
And what are you doing here?
I came over to see Miss Abby and Miss Martha.
Turn on the lights, Doctor. You chose a rather untimely moment for a social call.
I think you'd better explain what you're doing here.
We happen to live here.
You don't live here. I'm in this house every day, and I've never seen you before. Where are Miss Abby and Miss Martha? What have you done to them?
Perhaps we'd better introduce ourselves. This is Dr. Einstein,
Dr. Einstein?
a surgeon of great distinction, and something of a magician.
And I suppose you're going to tell me that you're Boris Karloff.
I'm Jonathan Brewster.
Oh, you're Jonathan.
I see you've heard of me.
Yes, just this afternoon for the first time.
What did they say about me?
Just that there was another brother named Jonathan. That's all that was said. Well, that explains everything. Now that I know who you are, I'll be running along back home. If you kindly unlock the door.
Just what do you mean by that explains everything?
I thought I saw someone prowling around the house. I suppose it was you.
You thought you saw someone crawling around the house.
Yes, weren't you outside? Isn't that your car?
You thought you saw someone at the car?
Yes.
What else did you see?
Just someone walking around the house to the car.
What else did you see?
Just that. That's all. That's why I came over here. I wanted to tell Miss Abby to call the police, but if that was you, and that's your car, I don't need to bother Miss Abby. I'll be running along.
What was the man doing at the car?
I don't know. You see, I was on my way over here.
I think you're lying.
I think she tells the truth, John. You let her go now, huh?
I think she's lying. Breaking into a house at this time of night. She could be dangerous. She shouldn't be allowed around loose.
Oh, take your hands off of me!
Doctor!
It is going to be a private funeral.
Teddy, tell me who I am!
That's my daughter, Alice.
No, Teddy!
Doctor, your handkerchief. A cellar.
What's the matter? What's happening down there? What's the matter? What are you doing?
We got a burglar. A sneak thief.
We'll call the police.
We've called the police. We'll handle it. Now go back to bed. Do you hear me?
Mortimer! Where have you been?
To the North Base Theater. I should have known better. My heavens, I'm still there.
This is your brother Jonathan, dear, and this is his friend, Dr. Einstein.
I know this isn't a nightmare, but what is it?
I've come back home, Mortimer.
Who'd you say this was?
It's your brother Jonathan, dear. He's had his face changed. Dr. Einstein performed the operation.
Jonathan? Jonathan, you always were a horror. But do you have to look like one?
Easy.
Do you remember when we were boys? Remember the time you were tied to the bedpost? The needles under your fingernails?
It is, Jonathan. Yes, I remember. I remember you as the most detestable, vicious, venomous form of animal life I ever knew.
Now, don't you two start quarreling the minute you've seen each other.
There isn't going to be any fight, Aunt Abby. Jonathan, you're not wanted here. Get out.
We've been invited to stay.
Not in this house.
Well, for tonight.
I don't want him anywhere near me.
But we did invite them for tonight, and it wouldn't be very nice to go back on our word.
All right, tonight. But first thing in the morning, out. Where are they staying?
We put them in Jonathan's old room.
That's my old room. I'm staying in that room. I'm here to stay.
Oh, Mortimer,
I'm so glad.
John, we sleep down here.
You bet your life you sleep down here.
You sleep on the sofa, and I sleep on the windows.
Window seat. Window seat. Let's not argue about it. That window seat's good enough for me. I'll sleep on the window seat.
You know, John, all this argument, it makes me think of Mr. Spinalzo.
Spinalzo? My dear Mortimer, it really isn't necessary for us to inconvenience you like this.
We'll sleep down here. Jonathan, your sudden consideration for me is very unconvincing.
We get our things out of the room.
Oh, don't bother, Doctor.
By the way, Doctor, I seem to have completely lost track of Mr. Spinalzo.
Who is this Mr. Spinalzo?
Just a friend of ours Johnny's been looking for.
Well, don't bring anyone else in here.
It's all right, John. If I'll be back, I tell you all about it.
Oh, Mortimer, you don't have to sleep down here. I can go in with Martha, and you can take my room.
Don't worry, Aunt Abby. We'll be back in a few minutes. Then you can have the room, Mortimer.
You're wasting your time. I told you, I'm sleeping down here.
Mortimer,
What's wrong, darling?
I've almost been killed.
You've almost been... Abby! Martha!
No, it was Jonathan. He mistook her for a sneak peek.
No, it was more than that. He's some kind of maniac. Mortimer, I'm afraid of him.
Darling, you're trembling. Have you got any smelling salts?
No, but do you think some tea or coffee?
Coffee. Make some for me, too. And some sandwiches. I haven't had dinner yet.
We'll make something for both of you.
Martha, we can leave our hats downstairs here now.
You weren't going out somewhere, were you? Do you know what time it is? It's after 12. 12! Oh, and you've got to get home.
What? Oh, you wanted some sandwiches for you both. I won't take a minute.
Why? Don't you remember we wanted to celebrate your engagement? That's just what we'll do. We'll make a nice supper for both of you. And we'll open a bottle of wine.
Yeah, all right. No! Why?
Mortimer, what is going on in this house?
What do you mean, what's going on in this house?
You were supposed to take me to dinner in the theater tonight. You called it off. You asked me to marry you. I said I would, and 5 minutes later, you threw me out of the house. Just tonight, after your brother tries to strangle me, you want to go and chase me home. Now listen, Mr. Brewster. Before I go home, I want to know where I stand. Do you love me?
I love you very much, dear. In fact, I love you so much, I can't marry you.
Have you suddenly gone crazy?
I don't think so, but it's only a matter of time. You see, insanity runs in my family. It practically gallops. That's why I can't marry you, dear.
Now, wait a minute. You've got to do better than that.
No, dear. There's a strange taint in the Brewster blood. If you really knew my family, it's what you'd expect if Strindberg wrote Hell's a Poppin'.
Now, just because Teddy's a little...
No, it goes way back to the first Brewster, the one who came over on the Mayflower. You know how in those days the Indians used to scout the settlers? He scalped the Indians.
No, Mortimer, that's ancient history.
No, the whole family. Take my grandfather. He tried out his patent medicine on dead people. To be sure, it wouldn't kill them.
He wasn't so crazy. He made $1 million.
And then there's Jonathan. You just said he was a maniac. He tried to kill you.
But he's your brother, not you. I'm in love with you.
And then there's Teddy. You know Teddy. He thinks he's Roosevelt. No, dear. No Brewster should ever marry. I realize now, if I'd met my father in time, I would have stopped him.
Darling, all this doesn't prove you're crazy. What about your aunts? They're roosters, aren't they? And they're the sanest, sweetest people I've ever known.
Even they have their peculiarities.
Yes, what lovely peculiarities. Kindness, generosity. There's another one. There are plenty of other ones. You can't tell me a thing about your aunts.
I'm not going to. Look, Elaine, gotta get home. Something very important has just come up.
Up from where? We're here alone together.
I know I'm acting irrationally, but just put it down to the fact that I'm a mad rooster.
If you think you're going to get out of this by pretending you're insane, you're crazy. Now listen, you might not want to marry me, but I'm going to marry you. I love you, you dope.
Oh, you love me? Will you get out of here?
Well, at least take me home, won't you? I'm afraid.
Afraid? A little walk through the cemetery?
Mortimer, will you kiss me goodnight?
Of course, dear. Good night, dear. I'll up in a day or two.
You critic!
Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, come in here.
I'll be in a minute, dear.
Come in here now.
Yes, dear, what is it? Where's Elaine?
I thought you promised me you weren't going to let anyone in this house while I was gone.
Well, Jonathan just came
I'm
in.
not talking about Jonathan.
And Dr. Einstein.
I'm not talking about Dr. Einstein. Who is that in the window seat?
We told you, Mr. Hoskins.
It is not Mr. Hoskins.
Who can that be?
Are you trying to tell me you've never seen this man before?
I certainly am. Well, this is a fine how do you do. It's day so anybody thinks they can walk into this house.
Aunt Abby, do not try to get out of this. That is another one of your gentlemen.
Mortimer, how can you say such a thing? That man's an imposter. And if he came here to be buried in our cellar, he's mistaken.
Aunt Abby, you admitted to me that you put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat.
Yes, I did.
Well, this man didn't just get the idea from Mr. Hoskins. Where is Mr. Hoskins?
He must have gone to Panama.
You buried him?
No, not yet. He's down there waiting for the services, but we haven't had a minute. What with Jonathan in the house. Oh dear. I've always wanted to hold a double funeral. But I will not read services over a total stranger.
A stranger? Aunt Abby, how can I believe you? There are 12 men in that cellar, and you admit you poisoned them.
Yes. But you don't think I'd stoop to tell a fib? Martha!
Oh, Mortimer, I'd like to have a word with you.
Words about all you'll have time for, Jonathan, because I've decided you and your doctor friend are going to have to get out of this house just as quickly as possible.
I'm glad that you recognize the fact that we can't live under the same roof. But you've come to the wrong solution. Take your suitcase and get out.
Jonathan! You're beginning to bore me. You've played your one-night stand in Brooklyn. Move on.
My dear Mortimer, just because you graduated from the back fence to the typewriter, don't think that you've grown up. I'm staying, and you're leaving. And I mean now.
If you think I can be frightened, if you think there's anything I fear,
I've lived a strange life, Mortimer. And if it's taught me anything, it's to be afraid of nothing.
window seat.
No, Aunt Abby.
Jonathan, let Aunt Martha see what's in the window seat. Aunt Abby, I owe you an apology. I have some very good news for you. Jonathan is leaving. He's taking Dr. Einstein and their cold companion with them. Jonathan, you're my brother. You're a Brewster. I'm going to give you a chance to get away and take the evidence with you. You can't ask for more than that. Very well. In that case, I'll have to call the police.
Don't reach for that telephone. Are you still giving orders after seeing what happened to Mr. Spinalzo?
Spinalzo? I knew he was a foreigner.
Remember, what happened to Mr. Spinalzo can happen to you, too.
Hello, Miss Gabby.
Oh, Officer O'Hara, is there something we can do for you?
I saw your lights on and thought there might be sickness in the house. Oh, you got company. I'm sorry I disturbed you.
Oh, no, come in.
Yes. Come in. Come right in, Officer O'Hara. This is our nephew, Mortimer.
Pleased to meet you.
And this is another nephew, Jonathan.
Pleased to make your acquaintance. Well, it must be nice having your nephews visiting you. Are they going to stay with you for a bit?
I'm staying. My brother Jonathan was just leaving.
I've met you here before, haven't I?
I'm afraid not. Jonathan hasn't been home for years.
Your face looks familiar to me. Maybe I've seen a picture of you somewheres.
I don't think so.
Yes, Jonathan, I'd hurry if I was you. But your things are all packed anyways, aren't they?
Well, you'll be wanting to say your goodbyes. I'll be running along.
Oh, what's the rush? I'd like to have you stick around till my brother goes.
I just dropped in to make sure everything was all right.
We're going to have coffee in a minute. Won't you join us?
Oh, I forgot the coffee.
Well, I'd better make some more sandwiches. I ought to know your appetite by this time, Officer O'Hara.
Don't bother. I'm due to ring in a few minutes.
Oh, you can have a cup of coffee with us. Please sit down.
Say, ain't I seen a photograph of your brother around here someplace?
I don't think so.
He certainly reminds me of somebody.
He probably looks like someone you've seen in the movies.
I never go to the movies. I hate them. My mother says the movies is for dummies.
Yes, it's full of them. Your mother said that.
Yeah, she was an actress. A stage actress. I have seen Hyper. Peaches Latour.
It sounds like a name I've seen on the program. What'd she play?
Well, the big hit was Mutt and Jeff. Played it for 3 years. I was born on tour. 3rd season.
You were?
Yep, Sioux City, Iowa. I was born in the dressing room at the end of the 2nd act, and Mother made the finale.
What a trooper. I'll bet there's quite a story in your mother. You know, I write about the theater.
You do? Say, you're not Mortimer Brewster, the dramatic critic?
Yes.
Well, I certainly am glad to meet you. Say, Mr. Brewster, we're in the same line of business.
We are?
Yeah, I'm a playwright. All this being on the police force is just temporary.
How long have you been on the force?
12 years, I'm collecting material for a play.
It ought to be a honey.
It ought to be, with all the drama I see being a cop. Mr. Brewster, you've got no idea what goes on in Brooklyn.
I think I have.
Say, what time you got?
10 after 1.
Oh, gee, I gotta ring in.
Oh, wait a minute, O'Hara. About that play of yours. I may be able to help you.
You would? Say, it was fate my walking me in tonight. Look, I'll tell you the plot.
Oh, you're leaving now, huh? Good. You haven't got much time, you know.
Well, everything's just about ready. Oh, you leaving now, Jonathan? Goodbye. Goodbye, Dr. Einstein. Oh, doesn't this case belong to you?
Yes, Jonathan. You can't leave until you take everything with you. Well, O'Hara, it was nice meeting you. We'll get together sometime and talk about your play.
Oh, I'm not leaving now, Mr. Brewster.
Why not?
Well, you just offered to help me with my play, didn't you? You and me are gonna write my play together.
I don't think so, O'Hara. I'm not a creative writer.
I'll do the creating. You just put the words to it.
But, O'Hara, that's not...
No, sir, Mr. Brewster. I ain't leaving this house till I tell you the plot.
Well, in that case, Mortimer will be running
Don't
along.
try that. You can't leave yet. Not until you take everything with you. Look, O'Hara, you get going now. My
I
brother...
can wait. I've been waiting 12 years.
I'm sorry I was so long.
Don't bring that in here! O'Hara, would you join us for a bite in the kitchen?
The kitchen?
Jonathan's leaving.
Oh, well, that's nice. Come along, Officer O'Hara.
Oh, Officer O'Hara, you sure you don't mind eating in the kitchen?
And where else would you eat?
Goodbye, Jonathan. It was nice to see you again.
Jonathan, I'm glad you came back to Brooklyn because it gives me a chance to throw you out. And the first one gone is your friend, Mr. Spinalzo.
Look, Mr. Brewster, talking in.
Coming right out.
I might have known you'd grow up to write a play with a policeman.
Now get going, all three of you.
Doctor, this affair between my brother and me has got to be settled.
Johnny, we got trouble enough. The Professor gives us a chance to get away. What more could you ask?
You don't understand. This goes back a good many years.
Now, Johnny, let's get going.
No, we're not going. We're staying here.
This Calkin's kitchen and Mr. Spinalzo in the window seat?
That's all he's got on us. We'll take Mr. Spinalzo and dump him in the bay and come right back here. And if he tries to interfere...
Now, Johnny.
Doctor, you know when I make up my mind.
Yeah, when you make up your mind, you lose your head. Brooklyn ain't a good place for you.
Doctor.
Okay, we stick together. Someday we get stuck together. If you're coming back here, do we get to take these visits?
No, leave them here. Hide them in the cellar. Move fast. Mr. Spinalzo can go out the same way he came in.
Hey, Johnny, come quick.
What's the matter?
You know that hole in the cellar?
Yes?
We got an ace in the hole. Come on, I'll show you.
Jonathan! 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 Jonathan!
Yes, Mortimer?
Where have you two been? I thought I told you to get out of here.
We're not going.
Oh, you aren't, are you? You think I'm not serious? Do you want O'Hara to know what's in the window seat?
We're staying here.
All right, you asked for it. This gets me rid of you and O'Hara at the same time. Officer O'Hara, come in here.
If you tell O'Hara what's in the window seat, I'll tell him what's in the cellar.
The cellar?
There's an elderly gentleman down there who seems to be very dead.
What were you doing in the cellar?
What's he doing in the cellar?
No thanks, man. They look fine. I've had plenty.
Now what are you going to tell to O'Hara?
Say, Mr. Brewster, you're on 20 here too. Shall I get the in?
No, O'Hara, you can't do that now. You've got to ring in.
Ah, forget ringing in. I'll get you Anson here and tell you the clock.
No, O'Hara! Not in front of all these people. We'll get together alone, someplace else.
How about the back room at Kelly's?
Fine. You go ring in, and I'll meet you at Kelly's.
Why don't you two just go down to the cellar?
That's all right with me. Is this the cellar?
No! We'll go to Kelly's, but you're ringing in on the way.
All right. That'll only take a couple of minutes.
I'll ditch this guy back in 5 minutes. I'll expect to find you gone. No, wait for me.
Oh, we'll wait for him, Doctor. I've waited a great many years for a chance like this.
We got him right where we wanted him. Did he look guilty?
Bring the bags up back to our room.
Have they gone? Oh, we thought we heard somebody leave.
Just Mortimer, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Is there any food left in the kitchen? I think Dr. Einstein and I will enjoy a bite to eat.
But you won't have time. No, if you're still here when Mortimer gets back, he won't like it.
Oh, he'll like it. He's gotta like it.
Go get something for us to eat while we bury Mr. Spinozzo in the cellar.
Oh, no. You can't bury him here. No, I'm afraid you'll have to take him with you.
But there's a friend of Mortimer's waiting for him down there.
A friend of Mortimer's?
He and Mr. Spinozzo will get along just fine. They're both dead.
He must be Mr. Hoskins.
Mr. Hoskins?
You know about what's downstairs?
Of course we do. And he's no friend of Mortimer's. He's one of our gentlemen.
You're gentlemen?
And we won't have any strangers buried in our cellar.
But Mr. Hoskins...
Mr. Hoskins isn't a stranger.
Besides, there's no room. The cellar's crowded already.
Crowded? With what?
There are 12 graves down there now.
12 graves?
And that leaves very little room. And we're going to need it.
You mean to tell me that you and Aunt Martha have murdered...
Murder? Why, certainly not. It's one of our charities.
What we've been doing is a mercy.
So you just take your Mr. Spinozzo out of here.
You've done that in this house. And you married them down there.
Johnson, we've been chased all over the world. Your aunts stay right here in Brooklyn and do just as good as you do.
What?
So you've got 12, and you've got 12. The old ladies are just as good as you are.
I've got 13.
No, Johnny, 12.
13. There's Mr. Spinozzo, the first in London, 2 in Johannesburg, 1 in Sydney, 1 in Melbourne, 2 in San Francisco, 1 in Phoenix, Arizona,
Phoenix?
the filling station, 3 in Chicago, and the 1 in South Bend. That makes 13.
But you can't count the one in South Bend. He died of pneumonia.
He wouldn't have died of pneumonia if I hadn't shot him.
No, Johnny, he don't count.
He comes to me. I say 13.
No, Johnny, 12. The old ladies are just as good as you are.
easily taken care of. I just need one more.
Just one more.
Well, here I am.
This is our house and this is our cellar, and you can't do that.
Ladies, leave. We'll pack upstairs where you belong.
Abby, Martha, go upstairs.
There's no use you're doing what you're doing because it will just have to be undone.
I tell you we won't have it, and you'd better stop it.
All right. You'll find out. You'll find out how this is.
I'm warning you, you'd better stop it. Hasn't Mortimer come back yet?
No. It's a terrible thing to do, to bury a good Methodist with a foreigner. I will not have our cellar desecrated.
And we promised Mr. Hoskins a full Christian funeral. Where do you suppose Mortimer went?
Well, he must be doing something. Because until Jonathan, you just wait. I'll settle this.
Well, how's he going to settle it when he's out of the house? That's all we want settled. What's going on down there?
All right. Now where's Teddy?
Mortimer, where have you been?
Over to Dr. Gilchrist. I got his signature on Teddy's commitment papers.
Mortimer, what is the matter with you?
Running around getting papers signed at a time like this.
Do you know what Jonathan's doing?
He's putting Mr. Hoskins and Mr. Spinalzo in together.
Oh, he is he? Well, let him. Is Teddy in his room?
Teddy won't be any help.
When Teddy signs his commitment papers, I can tackle Jonathan.
What have they to do with it?
I had to go and tell Jonathan about the 12 gentlemen. If I can make Teddy responsible for those, I can protect you. Don't you see?
No, I don't see. And we pay taxes for the police to protect us.
I'll be back in a minute.
All right, Martha. We're going to the police.
The police! You cannot go to the police!
Well, why can't we?
Because if you tell the police about Mr. Spinalzo, then they find Mr. Hoskins too. And that might make him curious. And then they find your other 12 gentlemen.
Mortimer, we know the police better than you do. I don't think they'd pry into our private affairs if we asked them not to.
But if the police found the 12 bodies, they'd have to report to headquarters.
But I'm not so sure they would. They'd have to make a very long report. And if there's anything a policeman hates to do, it's to write.
But you can't depend on that. It might leak out, and you can't expect a judge and jury to understand.
Judge Coleman would.
We know him very well.
He comes to the church to pray just before election.
And he's coming here to tea someday. He's promised.
We must speak to him again about that. His wife died a few years ago, and it's left him very lonely.
Well, come along, Martha.
No, you can't do this. I won't let you. You can't leave this house, and you can't have Judge Coleman to tea.
Well, if you're not going to do something about Mr. Spinalzo, we are.
I am going to do something. We may need to call the police in later, but if we do, I want to be ready for them.
You've got to get Jonathan out of this house.
And Mr. Spinalzo, too.
Will you let me do this my own way? I've got to see Teddy.
Mortimer, if they're not out of this house by morning, we're going to the police.
Oh, they'll be out. I can promise you that. Go to bed, will you? And for heaven's sake, get out of those clothes. You look like Judith Anderson.
Well, Abby, that's really distant.
Yes. If Mortimer's really going to do something about Mr. Spinalzo, then that just means Jonathan's going to a lot of unnecessary trouble. You better tell him. Oh, Jonathan, you might as well stop what you're doing.
Good night, aunties.
Not good night, Jonathan. Goodbye. We'll be out of this house by morning. Mortimer's promised.
And he has a way of doing it too.
Then Mortimer's back.
Yes, he's upstairs talking to Teddy.
Goodbye, Jonathan.
Goodbye, Jonathan.
Perhaps you'd better say goodbye to Mortimer.
Oh, you'll see Mortimer.
I'll see Mortimer.
Phew. That's all fixed up down there. Smooth like a lake. Nobody ever knows they were down there. Come on, we go up, eh? 48 hours we didn't sleep. That bed feels good already.
Doctor, you're forgetting.
What?
My brother, Mortimer?
Now, Johnny, not tonight. We do that tomorrow or the next day.
No. Tonight. Now.
Johnny, please. I'm tired. And tomorrow I got to operate.
Yes, you have to operate tomorrow, Doctor. But tonight we take care of Mortimer.
No, Johnny, not tonight.
Doctor, look at me. You can see it's going to be done, can't you?
I can see. No sense. Look.
And it's a little too late for us to dissolve our partnership.
Okay, we do it. But it's a quick thing. It's a quick twist like in London.
No. This calls for something special. Perhaps the Melbourne method?
No, Johnny, not that. 2 hours, and when it was all over, that fellow in London was just as dead as the fellow in Melbourne.
We had to work too fast in London. There was no aesthetic satisfaction. Now the Melbourne method. There was something to remember.
Remember? I wish I didn't. No, Johnny, not Melbourne, not me.
Yes, Doctor. Where are your instruments?
I won't do it.
Where are your instruments?
I won't tell you.
Where? Oh, yes. You hid them in the cellar. Where did you hide them?
I won't tell you.
Then I'll find them myself, Doctor.
Don't do that, Mr. President.
I cannot sign any proclamation without consulting my cabinet.
But this must be kept a secret.
A secret proclamation? How unusual.
Japan mustn't know until it's signed.
Japan! Those devils. I'll sign it right away. You got one word for it. I can let the cabinet know later.
Yes, let's go sign it.
You wait here. A secret proclamation must be signed in secret.
What at once, Mr. President?
Well, I have to put on my signing words.
You going now?
No, Doctor. I'm waiting for something. Something important.
Please, you go now.
Doctor, I have nothing against you personally. You seem to be a nice fellow. Take my advice and get out of this house and as far away as possible.
Trouble, yeah. You get out.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
I'm warning you. Get away quick.
Things are going to start popping around here any minute.
Listen, Johnny's in a bad mood. When he's like this, he's a madman. Things start happening. Terrible things.
Jonathan doesn't worry me now.
Himmel. Don't those plays you see teach you anything?
About what?
Well, at least people in plays act like they got some sense. Sense more than you do.
Oh, you think so, do you? You think people in plays act intelligently? I wish you had to sit through some of the ones I have to sit through. Take the little opus I saw tonight. There's this fellow. He's supposed to be bright. He knows he's in a house with murderers. He knows he's in danger. He's even been told to get out of the house. But does he go? No. He stays there. Now I ask you, doctor, does that seem like something an intelligent person would do?
You're asking me?
He didn't even have sense enough to be frightened, to be on guard. For instance, the murderer invites him to sit down.
You mean, why don't you sit down?
Believe it or not, that's in there too.
What did he do?
He sits. Now mind you, this fellow's supposed to be bright. So there he sits, the big dope, just waiting to be trussed up. And what do you think they use to tie him up?
What?
The curtain cord.
Well, why not? A good idea. Very convenient.
A little too convenient. Why not playwrights gonna start using some imagination? The curtain cord.
You didn't see him get it?
See him? He sat with his back to him. This is the kind of things that we have to sit through night after night. And they say the critics are killing the theater. It's the playwrights who are killing the theater. So there he sits, the big dope, this fellow who's supposed to be bright, just waiting to be trussed up and gagged. Wait!
You know, you're right about that fellow. He wasn't very bright.
No, Mortimer, if you don't mind. We'll finish the story. I've been away for 20 years, my dear brother. But not once in all that time were you out of my mind. One night in Melbourne, I dreamed of you. When we landed in San Francisco, I felt this strange satisfaction. Once more, I was in the same country as you. Doctor, now we go to work.
Please, Johnny. For me, Zikvikve.
Doctor, this must really be an artistic achievement. After all, we're performing in front of a very distinguished critic.
Johnny,
Doctor,
I gotta have a drink. I can't use this fucking drink.
pull yourself together, Doctor.
When we walked in here this afternoon, there was wine here. Remember? Where did you put that? Look, Johnny, we got to drink. That's all service. I split it with you.
one moment, please. Where are our manners? I realize now, Mortimer, that it was you who brought me back to Brooklyn. To my dear dead brother. That idiot! He goes next, that's all. He goes next.
No, Johnny, not Teddy. That's very stout, not Teddy.
We get to Teddy later.
If you don't get to him at all.
Now we've got to work fast.
Yeah, it's a quick thing.
Oh, yes, the quick way.
Hey, Carl's gonna quit blowing that on.
Don't worry about it, officer. We're taking the people away from them.
There's gonna be a price to pay in the morning. We promised the neighbors he wouldn't do that anymore.
Don't worry about it, officer. We'll take care of it.
I'd better speak to him myself. Where are the lights? Hey! You stood me up! I waited an hour at Kelly's for you. What happened to him? He was explaining what happened to the fellow in the play he saw tonight.
Did they have that in the play you saw tonight?
Gee, they practically stole that from the second act of my play. You see, in my second act, just before the... I'd better begin from the beginning. It opens in my mother's dressing room, where I was born, only I ain't born yet. Huh? Oh, yeah. No, you got here a plot. Well, she's sitting there making up, see? When all of a sudden, through the door, a man with a black mustache walks in, turns to my mother, and says, "Miss Latour, will you marry me?" He doesn't know she's pregnant. There she is, lying unconscious across the table in her lingerie. The cheek is standing over with a hatchet. I'm tied up in a chair just like you are. The place is in a inferno of flames. It's on fire. When all of a sudden, through the window, in comes Mayor McGuire. Hey, remember who paid for that? Go easy on it.
Well, I'm listening, ain't I?
How do you like it so far?
Well, it put John to sleep.
Let him alone. If he ain't got no more interest than that, he don't get it. Alright, it's 3 days late. I've been transferred and I'm under charges. That's because somebody stole my badge. Alright, I'm walking my beat on Staten Island, 46th precinct, when a guy I'm following, it turns out, is really following me. Don't let anybody in. So, I figure I look smart. There's a vacant house on the corner. I goes in.
It's cops! Cops!
I stands there in the dark, and I see the door handle turn.
Johnny, it's cops! Cops!
I pulls my guns, braces myself against the wall, and I says, "Come in." Hello, boys.
What exactly is going on in here?
Hey, Pat, what do you know? This is Mortimer Brewster. He's gonna write my play with me. I was just telling him the story.
Do you have to time up like that to make them listen to you? Joe, you better report him at the station. The whole force is looking for you.
They sent you in for me?
We didn't know you was here. We came to warn the old ladies. The colonel blew that bugle again in the middle of the night.
From the way the neighbors have been calling in about it, you think the Germans have dropped a bomb on College Avenue.
The lieutenant's on the warpath. He says the colonel's got to be put away someplace.
Yes! Yes! Gee, Mr. Brewster, I gotta get away, so I'll just run through the third act quick.
Get away from me.
Say, you know what time it is? It's after 8 o'clock in the morning.
It is? Gee, Mr. Brewster, them fights to act run a little long, but I don't see anything we can leave out.
You can leave it all out.
Who the hell is this guy?
That's my brother.
Oh, the one that ran away? So he came back.
Yes, he came back.
This is Brophy. Get me Mac. You better let him know we found you, Joe. Mac, tell the lieutenant he can call up the big manhunt. We got him. In the Brewster house. Do you want us to bring him in? Oh, all right. We'll hold him right here. The lieutenant's on his way over.
So I've been turned in, eh? Well, all right then. And I assume you and that stool pigeon brother of mine will split the reward.
Reward?
Now it's my turn to do some turning in. You think my aunts are just sweet, charming old ladies, don't you? Well, they've got 13 bodies buried in their cellar.
Penny! Penny! Penny!
What are you talking about? You'd better be careful with what you're saying about your aunts. They happen to be friends of ours.
I'll show you. I'll prove it to you. Come with me to the cellar.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
13 bodies, and I'll show you where they're buried.
Oh, yeah?
You don't want to see what's down in the cellar?
Go down to the cellar.
I'm not so sure I want to go down in the cellar with him.
Just look at this puss.
He looks a lot like Boris Karloff.
What do you think you're doing?
Come in.
What are you men doing here? I told you I was going to handle this.
Sir, we're just about to.
What happened? You put up a fight?
This ain't the guy that blows the bugle. This is his brother. He tried to kill him.
All I said was he looked a lot like Boris Karloff.
Turn him over.
We kind of think he's wanted somewhere.
Well, you kind of think he's wanted somewhere? If you boys don't look at the circulars we post up in the station, the least you could do is read True Detective. Certainly. He's wanted in Indiana. Escaped from prison for the criminally insane. He's a lifer, for goodness sake. That's how he was described. He looks like Karloff.
Was there a reward mentioned?
Yeah, and I'm claiming it.
He was trying to get us to go down in the cellar.
He said there are 13 bodies buried down there.
13 bodies. And that didn't tip you off that he came out of a nut house.
I thought all along he talked kind of crazy.
Oh, it's Shakespeare. And where have you been all night that you needed bother to tell me?
I've been right here, sir, writing a play with Mortimer Brewster.
You have plenty of time to write that play. You're suspended. Now get back and report in.
Can I come over sometime and use the station typewriter?
No! Get out of here! Take that guy somewhere else and bring him to him. Then see what you can find out about his accomplice. The guy that helped him escape, he's wanted too. No wonder Brooklyn's in the shape that it's in, with the police force full of flatheads like you falling for that kind of story. 13 bodies.
But there are 13 bodies.
Who are you?
I'm President Roosevelt.
What in the world is this?
He's the fellow that blows the bugle. Morning, Colonel.
Well, Colonel, you've blown your last bugle.
Dear me! Another yellow fever.
of here?
If there's any questioning of spies, that's my department.
You stay out of this.
You're forgetting, as president, I am also head of the Secret Service.
Excuse me, Captain? I'm Mortimer Brewster.
Are you sure?
I'd like to talk to you about my brother, Teddy, the one who blew the bugle.
Mr. Brewster, we ain't going to talk about that. He's got to be put away.
Oh, I quite agree with you. In fact, it's all arranged. I've had these commitment papers signed by Dr. Gilchrist, our family physician. Teddy has signed them himself, you see, and I've signed his next of kin.
Where's he going?
Happy Dale.
Well, I don't care where he goes. As long as he goes.
Oh, he's going. But I'd like you to know that everything that has happened around here, Teddy's responsible for. Now, about the 13 bodies of the summer.
Yeah. Those 13 bodies. It ain't enough that the neighbors are all afraid of him. And he's disturbing the peace with that bugle. But can you imagine if that cockeyed story about 13 bodies got out, and now he's starting a yellow fever scare? Cute! Ain't it?
13 bodies. You don't think anyone would believe that, do you?
Never know. Some people are just dumb enough. About a year ago, a crazy guy starts murdering over in Green Point. And I had to dig up a half-acre lot just to prove that it really
Will
was.
you excuse me?
Good morning, Mortimer.
Good morning, dear.
This is Mr. Witherspoon. He's come to meet Teddy.
To meet Teddy?
Mr. Witherspoon's the superintendent of Happydale.
Oh, come right in. This is Captain.
Lieutenant, really. I'm glad you're here, Super, because you're taking him back with you. Today.
Today? I didn't know
Not
that-
today.
Look, Elaine, I've got a lot of business to attend to, so I want you to go home and wait until I call you up.
Nuts.
I had no idea it was this immediate.
Papers are all signed, and he's going with you.
Complete insubordination! You men will find out I'm no mollycoddle! When the President of the United States is treated like that, what's this country coming to?
There's your man, Superintendent.
Just a minute. Mr. President, I have some very good news for you. Your term of office is over.
Is this March the 4th?
Practically.
Let's see. Now I go on my hunting trip to Africa. Well, I must get started immediately. Is he trying to move into the White House before I moved out?
Who, Teddy?
Taft!
That is Mr. Taft, Teddy. That's Mr. Witherspoon. He's to be your guide in Africa.
Bully. I'll bring down my equipment. When the safari comes, tell them to wait for me. Goodbye, Aunt Abby. Goodbye, Aunt Martha. I'm on my way to Africa. Isn't it wonderful? Charge!
Good morning, darlings.
Oh, we have business.
This is Lieutenant Rooney.
How do you do, Lieutenant? My, you don't look like the bus budget the policemen say you are.
Why the lieutenant is here? You know, Teddy blew his bugle again last night.
Yes, we're going to speak to Teddy about that.
I'm afraid it's a little bit more serious than that, Miss Brewster.
And you haven't met Mr. Witherspoon. He's the superintendent of Happydale.
Oh, Mr. Witherspoon, how do you do?
You've come to meet Teddy.
He's going to take him.
Aunties, the police want Teddy to go to Happydale today.
Oh no, not while we're alive.
I'm sorry, Miss Brewster, but it has to be done. Papers are all signed, and he's going along with the superintendent.
We won't permit it. We'll promise to take the bugle away from him.
We won't be separated from Teddy.
I'm sorry, ladies, but the law is the law. He's committed himself, and he's going.
Well, if he goes, then we're going too.
Yes, you'll have to take us with him.
Well, why not?
Well, it's sweet of them to want to, but it's impossible. You see, we can't take sane people at Happydale.
Mr. Witherspoon, if you'll let us look with Teddy, you'll see that Happydale is in our will. for a very generous amount.
Well, the Lord knows we could use the money, but I'm afraid that...
Now let's be sensible about this. Ladies, for instance, here I am, wasting my money, and I've got important work to do. Did you know that there are still murders to be solved in Brooklyn?
Yes!
Oh. Yes. And it ain't only his disturbing the peace, and the neighbors all afraid of him, but things would only get worse. Sooner or later, you'd be put to the trouble of digging up your cellar.
Our cellar?
Yeah, your nephew's been going around telling that there are 13 bodies buried in your cellar.
But there are 13 bodies in our cellar.
If that's where you think Teddy has to go, then you just come down to the cell with us and we'll prove it to you.
There's one, Mr. Spinozzo, who doesn't belong and who will have to go. But the other 12 are our gentlemen.
I don't think the lieutenant wants to go down in our cellar. Why, just last year, he had to dig up a half-acre lot. Didn't you, Lieutenant?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, you wouldn't have to dig here. The graves are all marked. We put flowers on them every Sunday.
Flowers? How about it, Superintendent? Don't you think you can find some room for these ladies?
Well...
You just come along with us and we'll show you the graves.
I'll take your word for it, lady. I'm a busy man. How about it, Super?
Well, we have to be committed.
Teddy committed himself. Can't they commit themselves? Can't they sign the papers?
Why, certainly.
Well, if you'll let us live with Teddy, we'll sign the papers. Where are they?
Yes. Where are they?
He's coming around, Lieutenant.
Good morning, Mr. Klein.
Good morning, Mr. Klein. Are you here too?
Yeah, me and Brooke got your other nephew out of the kitchen.
All right, Superintendent. Sign them up. I want this all cleared away. Ah, 13 bodies.
If you'll sign right here.
And you here, Aunt Abby.
I'm so looking forward to going. The neighborhood here has changed so.
Just think, a front lawn again.
Oh, wait, we're forgetting something.
What?
We're going to need the signature of a doctor.
Dr. Einstein! Will you come over here for a minute? We'd like to have you sign some papers.
Please, I must.
Oh, come right over, doctor. You know, at one point last night, I thought the doctor was going to operate on me. Just come right over, doctor. Just sign right here, doctor.
Were you leaving?
I think I must.
Aren't you going to wait for Jonathan?
I don't think we're going to the same place.
Hello, Elaine. Glad to see you. Stick around, huh?
Don't worry, I'm going to.
Hello, Matt? Yeah, it's Ernie. We picked up that guy that's wanted in Indiana. Yeah, there's a description of his accomplice on my desk. Read it to me. Okay? About 170 pounds. Almost 6 foot. Okay? Blue eyes. Poses as a doctor and speaks with a German accent. Okay, thanks, Mac.
It's all right, Lieutenant. The doctor here has just completed the signatures.
Good night, mate.
Mr. Brewster, you sign here as next of kin.
Yes, of course. Right here?
That's fine.
Now that makes everything complete, everything legal.
Oh, yes.
Aunties, now you're safe.
When do you think you'll be ready to start?
Well, Mr. Witherspoon, why don't you go upstairs and tell Teddy just what he can take along?
Upstairs? I'll show you.
No, Mortimer. You stay here. We want to talk to you. Yes, Mr. Witherspoon, up the stairs and to the left.
Well, Mortimer, now that we're moving, this house really is yours.
Yes, dear. We want you to live here now.
I don't think so, darlings. This house is too full of memories.
But you'll need a home when you and Elaine are married.
Darlings, that's very indefinite.
It's nothing of the kind. We're going to be married right away.
Mortimer, we're really very worried about something.
You're going to love it at Happydale.
Yes, we're very excited about the whole thing. But that's just it. We don't want anything to go wrong.
Will they investigate those signatures?
Don't worry, they're not going to look up Dr. Einstein.
It's not his signature, dear. It's yours.
You see, you signed as next of kin.
Yes, of course. Why not?
Well, it's something we never wanted to tell you. But you're a man, and Elaine should know too. You see, dear, you're not really a Brewster.
Your mother came to us as a cook, and you were born about 3 months afterward. Her poor husband had just died, and she was such a sweet lady, so we adopted the boy and brought him up ourselves.
I'm not really a Brewster.
Now, don't feel badly about it, dear.
And Elaine, it won't make any difference to you.
Elaine, do you hear? Do you understand? I'm adopted.
Well, I really must see about breakfast.
Oh no, Mortimer's coming to my house. We're going to have breakfast together.
Yes, I need some coffee. I've had quite a night.
One moment, Witherspoon. Take a place with you.
We won't need the wagon. My car's on the way.
You leaving now, Jonathan?
Yes. There's some people in Indiana who are going to take care of him for the rest of his life. Come on.
Well, Jonathan, it's nice to know you have some place to go.
Really, leaving?
Yes, we're going to Happydale.
Then this house is seeing the last of the Brewsters.
Unless Mortimer wants to live here.
I have a suggestion to make. Why don't you turn this property over to the church?
Well, we never thought of that.
After all, it should be part of the cemetery.
All right. Let's get going.
I can't better my record now, Yankees. But neither can you. At least I can live with that satisfaction. The score stands even. 12 to 12.
Jonathan always was a mean boy. Never could stand to see anyone get ahead of him.
I wish we could show him he isn't so smart. Oh, Mr. Witherspoon. Does your family live with you in Happydale?
I have no family.
Well, I suppose you consider everyone at Happydale your family.
I'm afraid you don't quite understand. As head of the institution, I have to keep quite aloof.
That must make it very lonely for you.
It does, but my duty is my duty.
Well, Martha, if Mr. Witherspoon won't join us for breakfast, then we must at least offer him a glass of our elderberry wine.
Elderberry wine?
We make it ourselves.
Well, I suppose at Happydale our relationship will be a bit more formal, but here, you don't see much of elderberry wine nowadays. I thought I'd had my last glass of it.
Oh, no.
No, here it is.